chop shop. Yeah, it's lit in the chop shop. Tear downs up in the drop top. They ain't mixing the debate, but they keep it back straight. Going 30 for 30. Let's do a first take on Facebook Live from Jordan 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your wheel. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, you see me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the chop shop, cause they cutting up. It's retro, coming to you live to the chop shop. Let us turn it up. Yeah. We in the chop shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the chop shop live from Killer 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the chop shop. We live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. We live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop. I'm talking sports talk. So
what up, everybody? That was quick. Welcome to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside, let me turn some stuff down, Jim Hicks, Chris Walker. Matter of fact, Chris Walker might not make it today. He up on the East Coast getting a little work done. Y'all got to realize Chris Walker getting geared up so he can come and be on CBS Sports, you know, and call some of the college games around the country. And I just going through my Facebook trying to make sure I got everybody here. What's up, everybody? Let me see who's on there, right? What's up, Mike Smith? Mike Smith, you went out to L.A. on me. Now I see why you went out to L.A. Our little secret. I saw it on TMZ. Yes, sir. Well, now I'm not gonna preach today, Derek Johnson. No, man. I just I'm in an office building down in downtown Houston, and had meetings today. So I said I'm gonna turn the office building into the chop shop today. And guess what I did, y'all? I tested. First thing I did, Jimmy, I tested their internet to make sure, you know, I wasn't fuzzy. And I mean, you know, it's a little bland in here, but thank you. So I don't know if you want me to let you know where I'm at. So I'm not going to disclose that conversation. But Jimmy, I was thinking about something last night. You're going to have, you know, I'm going to start the show like this. I know the Rockets played the Shanghai Sharks last night, but I want to start with some grassroots basketball. I want to start the show because I was thinking about your Super 16 event. It's an event that I know it's been going on, I think since maybe 2002, 2000. I might have the dates wrong. I didn't go to them, but I started going when my son played, and I found out it was a kind of a dictation on who was going to have a pretty good team. And I called Jimmy, y'all. I said, Jimmy, why? And I'll let him explain it. Tell me the significance, because I know it's a significance to me, and I'll tell that later. But tell the significance of this Super 16 that's going to be happening this weekend. And you can tell about it. I'm going to find this off this phone and turn it off so it won't be ringing in my ear. Tell us about it,
I mean, the Super 16, guys, of course, that's also known as grown to be known as the Fall High School Championships, right? Takes place in Houston, Texas at various locations. We've moved it around each of the years. First year for this event was back in 2004. Then 2004 was the first year of the Super 16 extravaganza. How it came about, basically back in those days, remember now, RCS Sports started in 2001. Well, we understand times have changed, different climate now. A lot of those guys that played that were 12th grades in 2001, nevertheless 2004, uh, those were the Daniel Gibsons and the Jawan McClellans and the Chamberlain Oguchis and Dion Dowles of the world back in 2004. Well, that fall after they graduated was the first year of the Super 16. And what happened is around that time, I had just published the first installment of the magazine. So the magazine came out, and in fall of 2003, right? And the theme on the front cover of the magazine, matter of fact, I have one right here. And remember, the magazine has came a long way. This is the front cover of the magazine back in 2004 and 3. November 2003. This was the front cover. The first ever. Remember, I never had no experience in publishing a magazine. Had never taken a class in doing a magazine. Had never did what they call it. Had never even did an instructive or a workshop in doing a magazine. So, I mean, basically, the inspiration came from, believe it or not, they had Rob Harrington was writing with a magazine on the East Coast called Prep Stars. And then up north, you had two brothers who are very much instrumental to this day because they both know, and they helped publish a magazine called the Prep Spotlight. Those guys' names are Vince Baldwin and John Stovall. I was like, man, them two brothers got a magazine, high school basketball. They had it on lock. Ohio and Michigan were their primary areas. John Stovall lived in Ohio. Vince Baldwin still resides in Michigan. So I'm just taking you guys back a quick blast to the past on how this concept came around. Now, on this copy of the magazine, one thing about it, when you do stuff and you take a gamble, my first swing, this was my first plate appearance, if you use a baseball analogy. My theme was who's number one? Because at that time, a lot of the kids embraced the competition and embraced the thought of, okay, you saying he's better than me? Let's do it. That's how it was back then. They had no middleman to encourage them otherwise. Matter of fact, the middleman, everybody felt that they had groomed a dog that was ready to bite. So everybody unleashed their dog, get in the yard, get it on. So my theme was, I had at the bottom, you notice those two guys here are Jawan McClellan and Daniel Gibson. Now remember, this is before their high school season started their 12th grade year. This is in November when this came out. Both of those guys ended up making the McDonald game. Daniel Gibson was a lock. Jawan wasn't a shoe-in. He wasn't a lock. Remember now, Milby, I'm getting ahead of myself. Right here up top, I had 4 teams. 4 teams. Who's number one? Right? So those teams were Kingwood, Jones, Milby, and Hightower made the 4th team. That Hightower team, who was all on that team? This was the year after Lanny Smith, but Nick Wise actually had taken the picture with Hightower. That's why a lot of people didn't realize Nick Wise actually was at Hightower. And when they ruled him not eligible, he left and went to Westfield and then ended up at Kingwood. So this King and Hightower had went to state in 2002 and 2003. Back to this thing right here. This is called hitting it out the park. Jones ended up winning the state 4A championship that season. Milby ended up being the number one team, number one public school in the country. They went 39-0 and won the 5A championship at that time. Kingwood lost to Kingwood and Hightower, both in there. They all lost in the regions, knocked each other out. So that means this front cover had life all the way through the season. So now get back into the Super 16. So the following, that's in 2004 now. So now everybody was itching, man. What's gonna be the next cover of the magazine? What's gonna be next? How you gonna outdo that? I wasn't trying to outdo that. I was like, now RCS Sports had the city's attention because as those teams had success, I made sure every media guy that came into Houston for back then was the Academy National Invitational. They got a copy of that magazine in their hands. And they're like, whoa, it's not bad. Understand now, this is a long way. Inside was black and white. Outside was color. I mean, understand, but it wasn't bad for a first year 60-something pages of a magazine. So then I came up with the Super 16. But at that time, I say, well, everybody was doing not everybody. You only had a couple of people that did shootouts at the time. Maybe it wasn't that many shootouts in the fall. Well, they were only played a couple of games in the scrimmage match play format. So the thing was, people asked me and they say, well, what if we put together? Can you give us a tournament, Hicks, so we can see who number one? Well, at the time, I knew that the coaches couldn't coach because that's UIL rule. Back in those days, the UIL actually had enforced that the schools couldn't even wear their practice issue stuff, right? And so, let me get this thing straight. Hold on 1 second, guys.
That's all right.
I'm back with y'all now.
I got
you. So at that time, I thought about it, say, you know what? That would be a super idea. Think of what I said. That would be a super idea. I can get 16 teams. You see where the idea came from? Because y'all
you
was
said that, man. That's a super. You don't even talk like that.
Not no more. Not no more.
Okay.
You know, so I'm serious how it came about. So we call it the Super 16. And then at that time, really and truly, I admired the marketing capabilities of Don King. Back when Mike Tyson was a champ, I used to watch it. Man, this man can sell anything. And he always would use the word extravaganza. And so I said, well, you know what? We're going to use Super 16 extravaganza. And that's how the Super 16 came about. And that was in 2004. So this would be the 16th year of doing it. And it's basically a gauge that people use around the area that can help us determine the potency of the teams. Back in the days, when I first started it, whoever won the Super 16, they was number one in the city preseason. But then I understood more teams, more schools, you have different dynamics to why some kids may be in football. Some kids may be gone and may be injured. So you can't, make yourself ignorant to the fact that certain teams, just because they didn't play in the event and you punish them. Now, what happens is the opportunity for the next team that do play, if they win, then they have the opportunity to. For example, this past season, Eisenhower won last year, the Super 16. Was Eisenhower my number one team in the city? No. Martin Ranch was going into the season. Because Martin Ranch had showed enough, and you factor in the intangibles, and you say, you know what, this team, did I get it right? Well, Eisenhower did well, got to the regional finals in Region 2. Martin Ranch, injuries here and there, but Martin Ranch showed. So what this event, and it takes place every year the first weekend in October. The first weekend in October. It is never varied from that weekend. And that's the good thing about when you're thinking about the Super 16. It would start, now that's Friday through Sunday. Used to only be 2 days. Ronnie Courtney, then he was the head coach at Bush High School. When he came back, he was at TSU actually when I first started this event. But then he came back into high school and Bush played in it. He was like, man, that's too many games in a 1 day span. So I moved it from 1 day. It used to be a 1 day event. I moved it from 1 day to 2 days. Now it's 3 days because you have to have depth and there's a lot of games to win against a lot of top shelf talent in the same weekend. So the schedule for the Super 16 is posted on the front of it.
So Jimmy, say it again. So it's just 1 day, right?
Well, no, it used to be 1 day.
Oh,
when we
used
first
to be one
started.
day. Okay.
Used to be one
All
day
right.
when we first started this thing, and
Okay.
and that's like I
And
said.
it took its toll on the kid.
Well, I mean, and I understood so because by request of one of the coaches, like I said, Ronnie Courtney, he's like suggested, like, man, that's a lot of wear and tear on my kids. But the games are not full games. The clock runs and it stops on fouls. So you want the clock to stop? Foul somebody. It'll stop. It's not. I mean, so it means it's not a full-fledged running clock, and that way kids aren't cheated. Like say the subs aren't cheated or the players aren't cheated for opportunity of playing time because of what their teammates at the free throw line shooting 2 free throws and the clock is steady running. I've seen shootouts all the time like this, and a lot of those teams
Oh, yeah, I don't like that.
they sub in and out at 5-minute or 4-minute intervals. So what happens is if I'm on the court and you're shooting free throws, Hatter, guess what? I'm mad as hell. Because I mean now that's every set trip to the free throw line is between 30 and 40 seconds if you're shooting 2 free throws. If you've never timed it before, trust me, I have.
Guess what I'm doing, Jim? Guess what I'm doing?
What's
Man,
that?
I'm just checking myself in. I'm just checking myself. Dude, you come out, you shoot that free throw. I don't care, man. You come on out. I'm checking myself in, man. I'm just telling you. They better be glad I ain't playing. I'm checking myself in. But you know what? I just thought about something. I usually was never on the bench no way, so I didn't ever have to worry about that. But you can keep on talking.
in fall ball, Hatter, yeah, you gotta. I mean, that's a time where you want to equal time. That's what I'm saying. Even if you're on the court, Hatter, I'm saying you're getting cheated. Not the kid on the bench. The kid on the court is getting cheated.
Why the kid on the court getting cheated?
Because you're shooting free throws. The clock is running. I don't have time to get my action on. Think about it. Not the kid on the bench.
Okay. So it's no free throws. In this tournament, it's no free throws.
No. But no. There's free throws, but the clock stops on the free throw.
Oh, okay. I got it.
And you shoot 1 free throw. Guess what? It shows me that this idea was ahead of its time. The Chop Shop, you know what? The G League need to give me credit. Need to give the Chop Shop, give RCS Sports credit. Now that I think about it. Now, guess what? Guys, if you hadn't heard, how to explain to them the new rule that's taking place this year in the G League.
And all it's saying is, Jimmy, they're trying to cut the minutes down, the time down in the G League. Like if you shoot a 3, if you get fouled on a 3, you get 1 shot. If you make that 1 shot, you get 3 points.
Yeah.
You get fouled on a 2-point shot. Guess what? You get 1 shot to make that 2. So you ain't gonna give a 1 shot. So you can get 3 points by hitting 1 shot. So that ought to be exciting.
It's called 1 for 2, 1 for 3.
1 for 2 or 1 for 3. Yeah.
And what it does, it's going to speed up. They're projecting that it will speed up the G League basketball games by 6 to 8 minutes, which is a lot. It's about 2 minutes per quarter. It's going to speed up. And guess what? You're not coming into no games to see people shoot free throws. Now, what's going to happen? The free throws become more important now to the shooter. Because now it's 1 for 2. You think if you get easy money, you get 2 points from 1 free throw. Easy money.
You missed that first one. You're in trouble. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
It's gonna put a premium on hitting that
Ain't no first one. Ain't no first one. How the first one is the last
only
one.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, some people have missed the first one and yet another one. It ain't no second one. It's only the first one. But Jim, I want to bring up something, and I think we've hit that. And I just want to make sure that I remember the Super 16. I remember it. Oh, look at the pools right now. I remember the Super 16, and it's this weekend. And Jimmy, you always had it on the first weekend in August. I was told first weekend in October. Every year. You've been doing this for a lot of years on this week. So take your time. Let's get to what's at Yates High School, right? What time is the first game, Jimmy?
Friday at 5:15. 5:15. This
so
Friday.
So it's gonna be a Friday-Saturday deal.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh, you're gonna do Sunday? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So No, Yates only has 2 courts. So normally
I got you.
we've been in facilities before they had 3 courts, and we could
Okay.
go Saturday and Sunday. But in this case, it's 2 courts, and I'm not trying to sit in the gym all day long.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to force the teams, the coaches, the parents to sit in the gym all day long. When I do the schedules, I take all that in consideration. I really do. I really do. And especially at this age and of doing this. And for example, this morning I had a situation at Yates High School where on Friday they have an emergency volleyball game. And it was going to push the games down on 1 court, 1 hour, right? Then, so what I did was I had to make some arrangements, and so what I did, instead of redoing the schedule, I contacted every team that would have been affected personally this morning. Coach, here's what I got going on. Here's the situation. Would you rather play at this time, or I can move you to this time, or I could, to make some adjustments. Every one of the coaches. And sure enough, I got into a situation where I gave the teams an option. You could play at this time or this time. Everybody had an option. That's good customer service, because one of the coaches mentioned to me, he said, man, Mr. Hicks, I'm so glad you called me and didn't just force us to play at 9 o'clock at night, because my kids were staying at school after school, and that means they were going to have 6 hours before they played, and they would have to go all the way home. Some of them live in the Woodlands and come all the way back. And so I say, you know what? That's one of the things that you get. And when doing events is a lot of people and I encourage guys and young guys out there doing events, think of the customer service factor. It's a reason. Trust me. Chick-fil-A, their sandwiches are great. But a portion of the thing that goes into their greatness and the taste, the aftertaste, that's what I call it. The aftertaste is your experience, especially if you go through that drive-through and you get the customer service. You get customer service. That gives you a good aftertaste. Bad customer service or hospitality will get you a bad aftertaste. It might be a good game going on. Huh?
Yeah. That means a lot to me.
That means a whole lot.
In certain events and certain things, I just will not go back. You know how I am. If I don't have a great experience, I'm not coming back. And I would put a shout out to all parents and all people. If let me tell you something. If you're in the service industry, Jimmy, I learned this a long time ago. You don't have one thing to offer is service. And if you don't give me that, guess what? I mean, there's no reason for me to come back. So I am a stickler for customer service. Treat me right, because if you at my event, if you at my place, if you come to my birthday party, if you come on a trip with me, I'm going to make sure I will be inconvenienced to make sure you're all right. So that's the one thing I love about going to your events. They be guess what, Jimmy? They be well secured, they be well ran, and well officiated. Because if you see a official doing some crazy stuff, you man enough to go over there and say, come here, man. Come here. Hey man, the customer is always right. So and I've seen that. So hey, to each his own. You can go wherever you want to, but for my buck, I know where I would be this week. Hey, just make sure I know what time Martin Ranch play. I got to know what time Martin Ranch play.
Well, once again, the schedule for the Super 16 Extravaganza is posted on rcssports.com, or you can download the RCS Sports app. And the action will start on Friday at 5:15. Here's what I got for you guys. Another thing, speaking of hospitality, and I hear it all the time, and and I understand, guys. If you're paying, I always use the term "pay attention." That's been my thing all of 2019. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Well, pay attention to some of the events that you go to. Meaning that if you're paying attention, pay attention to the prices. I try to make everything economical and within range or below the threshold of what the most that people are charging. I've always been that way. So I thought about it. I said, guess what? You know, I always try to make it affordable for a family. A lot of people don't take that in consideration. A lot of people have 4 kids, 3 kids. You walk up to the gym. That's a $40, $60 a day for them to see their loved one play basketball. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now they have to make choices. So here's what I got.
Right.
For the Super 16, I want to write this down for you guys. On Friday, right? On Friday, what I have is, check this out.
Wow.
See, you can talk your shit all you want to. This is where you put your money where your mouth is. $5.
Wow.
Everybody on Friday to watch all the games on Friday. That's what I'm talking about when I tell you guys to pay attention. You say, guess what? And you're getting a good event. And you're getting a good event. There's no reason for people to go. And guess what? If you want to go in, you want to come out, you want to go back in, damn it, if you got your armband, you're going to get back in. That's what we're going to do with the icebreaker. You want to go outside and get some scissors and cut your armband off and tape it on somebody else's arm? Guess what? Do what you do. Just be willing to accept the responsibility if indeed one of my police officers catch that guy with an armband that's cut up. Remember that. That's all I'm saying. I ain't no problem with you doing that. But everybody, $5 on Friday. Everybody. And I'm gonna give you the quick schedule on Friday. There's 6 games on Friday total. 5:15, St. Thomas versus Sam Houston. At 6:15, Sharpstown versus Westbury Christian. At 7:15, we got games on both courts. Summer Creek versus Legacy, the School of Sports Sciences. And on court 2, the Woodlands Christian versus Ridge Point. Remember, Ridge Point won first place in the back-to-school battle. They beat summer teams to win first place. Ridge Point, they lost Isaiah LeBlanc. They lost PJ Haggerty. But the team is playing good ball at this time of year. They're playing like they're trying to prove something to those who are willing to count them out this early.
They got a pretty good coach over there too, Jim.
Hey man, and our sincere condolences go out to the coach Plowton at Ridge Point. A lot of you guys didn't know he suffered a major health scare.
I didn't know that.
Major health scare just a couple of months ago. And he's emerged from it. He's all right. I reached out to him. He's recovered fully. I mean, seriously. Wow. He's a major health scare.
Thank you, Jesus.
And so, I'm reading you guys the schedule for this Friday, the games at the Super 16 extravaganza. And of course, at the 8:15 slot, Dickinson and Jack Yates. That's what everybody wants to see.
That's prime time.
Reuben Jones, Tremont Mark going at
it. That's gonna be a nice.
That's gonna be a nice. That's gonna be a nice.
Hey.
Also, Antoine Norman and Marcus Williams going at it.
Okay. What else you got?
On the other court. On the other court at 8:15, Eisenhower and Spring Branch Memorial. Eisenhower is the defending champs. They feature Patrick Punch. He's one of the top 11 graders in the area, and he'd be going against this Memorial. And this Memorial team possibly has a chance to be their best team in about 30 years.
Okay.
This Memorial team is pretty doggone good. On paper, that is. That's the same. So that's going to be Friday at Yates High School. $5 for everybody.
Okay.
Now, what I decided to do, Heather, for Saturday and Sunday, my thing is trying to always make stuff affordable for the kiddos.
The family. Right.
And to create the family mean you have to include the kiddos.
Right.
$5 for students every day. Saturday and Sunday. $5 every day. Right?
Wow.
$10 on Saturday
Grown
for
folks.
adults.
Okay.
$10 on Sunday for adults.
Okay.
But $5 for
students.
all students. If you're under 6 years old, you get in free. Any day.
Oh, that's awesome.
See,
That's awesome.
this is what once again, pay attention. And here's how this stuff can go. And once again, the Super 16 extravaganza known as the Fall High School Championships is going to take place this weekend at Yates High School. And it's going to invite you guys to come out, made it affordable. You just tuned into the Chop Shop. $5 for everybody who gets in. $5. And another thing about the Super 16, how about this, Howard? Howard, you have to download the RCS Sports app.
I got it already, man.
I'm gonna explain, and I'm gonna tell you what's on the app right now. On the RCS Sports app, you can go and click on the Super 16 extravaganza, right? And and when you click on where it says teams. Open it up when it opens up. It's opening up. When it opens up, there you go. Go to Super 16 extravaganza. Watch this, y'all. Watch what I got for y'all. Watch this. Go to click on the teams. Show us a list of teams.
Go to teams. Okay.
Yeah, go to teams.
All right.
Okay, show us the screen. Those are the list of teams that Howard is showing you guys. Now, pick any team you want to at random. Any team you want. Just pick one.
I know who I'm gonna pick.
Pick one.
I picked. I got it.
What is it? Show the screen. Show the screen. Raise it up a little bit. Now, on that screen, you see the team. At the bottom, you're right there. At the bottom, it says roster. Click on roster right now.
Yeah.
Click on roster.
Oh, no.
Right? Hold it to the screen. What you see? What do you see? Let me tell you something about RCS Sports. And that's the thing. See, if I was to put some music behind me right now, right, and start rhyming over what I'm saying, then Jay-Z can do it, and you snap your fingers. It's like, oh, it's cool.
Well,
I'm gonna talk. No, I'm saying, hold that back up there, Howard. They don't believe what's there. What's on that screen? I have personally typed in the correct rosters for every single team that's playing. You guys have the power to go and open it up now, and you can go and look at. You got to have us enough. You can hold it down, and you guys can go and look at the rosters for every team that's playing in every game. Now,
I ain't never seen that. Though.
Now, we speak about hospitality. Now, what does that do for your hospitality? Think about it. For $5, you tell me an event that you went to that every single team had the rosters and the jersey numbers this fall. Now, I know, you know what? Like that old chili commercial.
What?
Remember the old Wolfman chili commercial going on? Go on. I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
I don't know about the Wolfman.
This is what I'm saying to you guys. So what happens is people understand something. I know there's a lot of people out there that really can't stand my guts. But you got to have the ability to separate. You cannot stand my guts, but you have to be able to separate that from the events.
I got a question. Is some of that stuff warranted?
Not really.
Some of
Not really.
To hate somebody's guts?
Not really.
They don't hate your guts.
Because most of it will come because you may feel that your kids should be ranked up higher.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
And I've distanced myself for about 4.5 years. I've distanced myself for 3.5 from rankings. Doug Jones assumed that for 3.5 years. And know what I realized?
What?
The hate is still out there. That wasn't the problem. You people tried to make that the problem, and that wasn't the problem.
Can I make a public service announcement right now?
Yeah.
I was at Ruck on the Wood, y'all. I want y'all to hear this now. This serious. I was at Ruck on the Wood, and a guy came over to me, Robert Howard, and said, "Man, you ranking my kids too." Man, you got this dude ranked over my kid. Don't y'all know I let him have it, didn't I? Hey, can y'all imagine what I told that dude? I'm not going to say it on, but I said, dude, I don't even know your kid. Listen, y'all, I'm on the chop shop. I don't have the expertise as Jimmy and Doug. I don't have the patience. Those guys sit in the gym and watch y'all kids all day long when Robert Haller gonna get in the car and go to dinner and come back. That's not my job. When those guys take out their time to do that, man, I take my hat off to them. That's why I had to interject here. I don't do no rankings. I have never in my life told Jimmy, hey, man, rank him. I like him. Because guess what? He going to look at me like I'm crazy. He going to look at me like, really? Really? You one of them too? So I don't even go there. So let's get there. Robert Hatter has nothing to do with the rankings. Now, Jimmy, you can resume to our regular schedule of programming.
Well, I mean, and when people ask, and I'm glad we channeling over that conversation, and people ask, well, why? And as Lori Dotson, we go to the Boom Boom Room and read and address some of the comments. She say, why, Jimmy? Why they don't like you? And my answer is primarily because of rankings. But then I studied it. One thing people don't know, a lot of people don't know, and had to grow in. And once you know, and once you pay attention, you don't even have to know me. If you're paying attention to me, then you will notice I probably over evaluate a lot of things. You know, it's called analysis by paralysis. You know, back in the old days, I do. And what I noticed was I really had grown to believe, because if you know, remember there was a scene from The Color Purple when that man, I don't remember the character name, and he told Whoopi, he said, you so ugly. Remember that? He said, you so ugly. Yeah, I mean, you remember the scene, but that scene was powerful, because if you tell somebody they're ugly every damn day, chances are sooner or later that person may question what they have been seeing all the while. They may go to the one that start to wonder, damn, am I really ugly? For example, if you tell a little kid, hey, tell a little boy, man, you're handsome. Hey, man, way to go. You tell a little girl, hey, you're beautiful, baby, you're a beautiful child. Don't let nobody tell you anything otherwise. And if you're, as a parent, if you could tell that person that every day, that kid that, they will feel that. For example, why do our vehicles feel? Well, I know me. It certainly feels like my car ride a whole lot better when I come to the car wash. Is it just me?
Me too.
Think about that. Think about it. If it's clean, it feels like it's riding smoother.
It does.
All of a sudden now, when certain songs come on the radio, I might make the extra block going home sometimes. I don't do that if the car dirty. The car clean, I'm going to ride down a certain street to see if my old partner at home on the next block. He might be in the yard. I'm going to let him, you know, if he out there, he going to stop. I got to stop. He going to see the armor all just glistening on the tires.
Jim,
yeah, we're going to get out there and talk.
You're going to make me let the top down today. Keep talking. Keep on talking.
and so that's my point. So what happened is people had circulated the thoughts that the rankings were skewed from RCS Sports. I had made the effort to include a lot of people in doing the rankings. I had reached out to a panel of the summer coaches, and I let them do their vote, because I thought about it like this. In amateur sports, the most heralded rankings is the Associated Press, the AP rankings for college football. Then the USA Today came up with their rankings a few years afterwards. Well, guess what forms the Associated Press rankings? It's a panel of people. Guess what forms the USA Today rankings? a panel
panel
of coaches, of people.
Coach. Yeah, coach.
So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to create and duplicate that format and apply it to create a Houston basketball.
That
So-
didn't work.
And
That was the most terrible. You can tell it, but boy, them dudes.
yeah,
Wow.
I mean, yeah, it was sad because of the fact that a lot of the guys, first of all, I had foolproofed the system to whereas everybody had to vote on players. You number them 1 through you vote for your top 20, just say. And I fill the blanks after 20, 25. Don't worry about that. Just give me your top 20. Everybody had a ballot on a spreadsheet that they give me the 1 through 20, 25, send back to me. But what would happen is then I would calculate after I pushed. I also always included at least one person from each of the top summer teams. One person from the sneaker team definitely was included, right? So guess what? What happened was some of the coaches attempted to start tricking the process. Here's what I mean. If there's a kid that you know is number one, just say De'Aaron Fox at the time. De'Aaron Fox, if you know he didn't play for you, and you probably figured everybody's going to put him at number one, people will start, this one person would vote and make De'Aaron Fox there on their ballot. It would make him number 15, you see, or number 20. And they would make their guy who would be number 20 on their ballot, they would write him in as number 1. So what happens is when you tally them all up, that number 20 is going to help him with 19 extra slots of favor. And it would balance De'Aaron Fox off to help your number 2. You see? Your guy number 2 might have played for you. It's going to help you out. Your number 2 be that much closer to De'Aaron Fox. That's what guys tried to do. I had already had a system in place that on the spreadsheet that would alert me that when I did it, if a person voted and they were more than 12 slots away, they didn't know it. They didn't know it happened. I do it. Then I automatically didn't count that ranking. I automatically didn't. But so that's what. So then I say, you know what? They don't like me because of rankings. I really don't want everybody going in the city and I have to deal with everybody, with these people, to not like me because of rankings. Because you're not like me because of my opinion, but at the same time, my opinion is going to help your number 99, who you're calling me. The same coach would be calling me in the midnight hour. Hey man, I got a little kid, man. Won't you put him on the rankings, man? Help him out, man. You know. And so I coach. Kid can't play dead.
Hold up, Jim. So you saying a coach that hates your guts, and you know it, be calling you and asking you that? I can't believe that. Ain't nowhere in the world.
What I don't. But I hate my guts would be an extreme.
Okay.
In some cases, but that would be publicly would make other people think that they not in favor of me. And really that might be the real them. They just might just be shaking and faking in front of my face. And just really can't stand me. So I could be on the 50-yard line on this thing. So, but what happens, you understand? So what I did was I say, you know what? I got a solution. I say, I'm going to get Big Doug Jones and do the rankings. So that means now, if that's the only reason that you are slighting me, then let's see what happened with Big Doug. So Big Doug does the rankings. And sure enough, Big Doug comes out the gate with them rankings, and everybody loving Big Doug. They were loving Big Doug
no more.
Huh?
They don't like it. They don't like Big Doug no more.
No. They don't not like him. They Doug has favor.
Oh, they like Doug.
So here's the thing. So think about how that sound. See, it was a trap anyway it came. Either two things was gonna happen. Either they was gonna hate Big Doug guts, and if they hated Big Doug guts, then that means that it truly is the rankings process. Because Big Doug did them, he ain't gonna get it right for certain guys, and he gonna miss one or
Right.
two. So that means you're gonna hate Big Doug. Well, if you hate Big Doug, then that means yes, the experiment finds itself true. But if you like Big Doug, right,
Ah,
then that means the
they
reason
just
that you
don't like
use
you.
that means that wasn't the reason that you didn't like that. The rankings. See, one thing. Remember yesterday I said there was a reason.
Hey,
There's a
hold up,
difference.
man. You done put a lot of thought into this, but keep on going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's the thing. Remember yesterday I said there's a difference between hearing and listening.
And listen. But
How about today?
You don't hear, you don't listen, though. But keep going.
and so in this situation, I'm gonna give you one for the day. Remember, there's an excuse and there's a reason.
Okay.
Remember, you got to be able to identify which is more probable when it applies, when people are trying to apply the excuse and make the excuse seem like it's the reason. But the reason should never be the excuse. Remember, there's a reason, it's a difference. So what my point is, when you don't like me, you made it seem like it was about rankings. That was an excuse, because the excuse means that it could or could not be true. The reason is the truth. That's the factual. But an excuse. You ever went to class, how back in the days, or missed the class, and then you went and got a doctor's permit, and you really didn't go to the doctor, but somebody wrote you a doctor. Everybody, I know where I come from, my family, we had a doctor plug. We get a permit, type it up. You went to the doctor, and you guess what? You got what they call an excused absence. I mean, that's life on the street, man. That's
Man, I used to love going to school, man. I used to hate to miss school.
But
School
you got
was
that
the
doc,
fun part of my life.
you got that doctor's permit, and that was what they called an excused absence. Know what that excused absence got you to do? It got you to miss practice for free. You had to run no laps with an excused absence. And guess what? As long as one of your teammates ain't gonna give you up at the park after school and say, "Coach, I saw him out there playing," then guess what? But understand, an excuse don't necessarily mean it's the truth. It don't necessarily mean it's the reason. An excuse doesn't always mean it's the reason. I want you guys to really let that soak in. So the excuse that people use why they don't like me may not really be the reason. The reason may be, from what I've been told, some people, their reason is they don't like what I drive. They don't like the way they don't like some of the clothes I may dress, because the job description and the job, sometimes if people in the business that do what I do, they normally don't drive that or dress that way or wear this or wear that. And that comes down to a crazy decision on how a person chooses to spend his doggone money. And if that ain't called counting pockets, one-on-one, I don't know what the hell it is. And people look at me and say, "Well, man, Jimmy doing these events, it's good. I got to do me an event. Man, I wonder what he's doing. I'm counting heads." I've heard people sit in my gyms and try to count the heads and multiply it times the amount of being charged at the door. I've seen it. I've had people come back and tell me that if people does that. And I have no problem with it. I just tell people to just pay attention. So if you're paying that much attention to me, then pay attention to Mike Kunstadt. Are you counting how many events he's doing per year? Are you counting that? Are you counting how much he's charging? You see, that's all I ask
Jimmy,
people to do.
let me tell you something. I think that's our society now. You know, we count what the players make. We count what the other guys make. No, don't nobody never worry about what the owner makes. So I think society and I know we can go off of this, because I really want to talk about an event last night but I think society is like
so
that, and that's got to be sick. But you know, you just made me think about it. But people do count. Man, that dude made this much money on his contract. Man, you got certain percent of that. Wow. So
Yeah, but then,
yes, but I think, I don't know why. Man, let me tell y'all something. man, I'm just ain't built like that. Certain people just ain't built like that. And that's all I can say. But I really want to talk about the game last night.
Let's do it.
Did y'all see the Shanghai Sharks came to town? Jimmy, did you? No, I know it was a slaughter. But did you get my text before the game?
Yeah.
You remember I gave you a group text? I said, look out for the little Clemens guy. And I know you said, man, what you didn't reply. You usually say something. I said, go look at, do me a favor, go look at the, before the game happened, go look at the results and tell me what the Chris Clemens guy had. Tell me what he scored when you get a chance. But it was a unique thing. Yao Ming's team came down. Everybody got to play except Russell. And Russell was on the bench. I guess it was, but exhibition game, Jimmy. But you got a chance to see the high-powered Jimmy. And I got the chance to see one of your Houston guys. He hit 3 of his first 4 shots, or 2 of his first 3 shots. Ben McLemore, he hit a few shots. Let me tell you who else. Thabo Cephalosha, long, athletic, can defend and can hit a 3. Man, let me tell y'all something. And I know y'all don't like him. Daniel House. Man, these Rockets might be pretty good, Jimmy. Pretty good. I'm not talking about the Shanghai Sharks. I'm just saying. But, you know how in the metrics and people talking about you long, athletic, and you can score the ball. And that James Harden, I just don't know what to say about him. That man had 10 points, about 12 rebounds, 17 assists, and he didn't play that. He wasn't even thinking about shooting. So Kevin Freitman said he coached Ben McLemore. But Jimmy was a unique. Did you see what Chris Clemens had? Did you see
what he had? No, what he had?
Huh?
No, I don't
know. He had about 16. He had about 16 points. No, he 21. I thought you were looking it up. He had 21, I think. But I called you before the game. I said, man, he usually go look at the stats. But this particular time, I give him a scouting report because I saw this kid in the summer league. Yeah, I can give you a scouting report. But I saw the little kid in the summer league, Jimmy, and he was very impressive. So yeah, hey, that's just me. I'm sorry. Hold up. I got to get his numbers for you because I don't want you. You gonna have one of these days you're gonna give me a little credit. But his name is, I think it's Chris Clemens. Yeah, Chris Clemens. He was, Jimmy, guess what he said? He was 7 of 16, right? From the field. He was 5 of 13 from the from the 3-point line. He was putting them up. And he had 21 points. Jimmy, he was a plus 16 when he was on the floor. So guess what? I don't know how much he's gonna play, but he's a little kind of short guy. But let me tell you something, Jimmy. I think he scored 3,500 points, 34 in college. And I forgot the college he came from, but he scored a lot of points in college. One of the leading, went to Campbell University. So I just thought I'd share that with y'all in case y'all didn't see it, in case you don't have that special package that you can watch the Rockets when they're at home. I thought I'd just share that with you. It was not. And their next game going to be against, guess who, Jimmy? In Hawaii. The Clippers. The Rockets next game. The Clippers, I'm sorry.
With minus Paul George. No Paul George.
Yeah, Paul George ain't going to play. Paul George. And I don't know if Kawhi Leonard going to play either. I'm not sure. I haven't got that scouting report yet. But I just wanted to throw that in there. Okay, Corey Willis said he's one of the most prolific scorers in NCAA history. Jimmy, guess what? He averaged 25 for his career. Did you hear what I just said?
He averaged 25?
For his college career, he averaged 25. So I just wanted to give y'all some little Rockets tidbits, and just in case No, Herb, he's not my nephew yet. But when I saw him this summer in the summer league, I saw his ability to score and score, and I just said, I wonder will that translate into, and I guess the Shanghai Sharks are saying it's not a really NBA team. But Jimmy, what you got? What you got?
Well, I also want to give you guys, of course, we hate that Chris Walker didn't join us today because yesterday we shared with you the breaking news of that California governor had signed into law the Fair Pay to Play Act, and since doing so, it was. I mean, that topic has basically settled on the time on all mainstream media's conversation. And one of the things that I noticed on yesterday, the same day, a few hours later, the state of Illinois, right? They introduced a similar bill, right, to let their college athletes get paid for their likeness as well. And Representative Emmanuel Chris Welch, right? He's the person that's behind the bill in Illinois. If you haven't got this news yet. And reason why this is so important is because Illinois is a little bit different from the high school and college, basketball scene as far as the talent level. Not the college per se, as different from, let's say, the state of South Carolina. Is the amount of D1 schools that they have, and the amount of talent in the recruiting from their cities that they have to choose from at their disposal. Meaning, for example, in South Carolina, there's no city that compares to Chicago. You follow them? You get what I'm saying? The third largest city in the United States based on population. So if the kids from Chicago that are living in dire conditions, and they're recruitable student athletes, then trust me, if it comes close, and I got the opportunity to either go to, let's say, South Carolina, where they might want to pay, they might adopt a similar legislation before 2023, or go to California, or stay my butt at home and I can get paid for my likeness at home. This is what one of the rules that the congressman the representative from Illinois is saying, how is that what it does, it will prevent or hinder California from having an unfair recruiting advantage. That's the thing.
And think about that. Put a footnote right there. Prevent California. I mean, it's prevent California from having. You know what? Mm-hmm. And to people who don't understand this, Coach Jimmy, a lot of people probably is on this Facebook feed don't understand what's going on. And I want you to understand what this law is, and maybe more what this law isn't. This law, which will not pass until which will not come into effect until 2023, right? It basically is not in any shape or form saying that the university will start paying athletes. Because a few people was texting me yesterday were confused, Jimmy. That's a whole separate discussion, y'all. Yeah. We can have later on the merits of that. We can do that later. This is not what this is. That's not what it is, and everybody needs to understand. This is basically saying you can be a capitalist. You can make money off your image or likeness. That's what this is saying. It's what all this rule is saying. And I think, and I'll tell you later why I think the Fair Pay to Play Act is. I don't like the wording. So let's say that I'm going to UCLA, and I really enjoy and I want to go and I really enjoy eating In-N-Out burgers. So I go to In-N-Out and I can say In-N-Out burger, Jimmy, you know, on that coast, they might want to endorse me or go to a dealership and sign autographs. That's all this is, y'all. That's why I don't like the fair play act, Jimmy. That's why I don't like the name, the play on words. So basically, what this bill does in the state of California is allow scholarship athletes to do this thing, do their thing, okay? That if they have a certain skill set that puts them ahead of other people, than any other student scholarships, they will be allowed to do it. But it's been a crazy reaction, Jimmy, and it's been 3 different reactions from the general public, from the NCAA, and Jimmy, from the Pac-12. Did you see what the Pac-12 wrote? Let me read it to y'all. The Pac-12, you got it over there, Jimmy, somewhere? I'll let you read it.
I don't have it in front of me, but
okay, the Pac-12 is disappointed in the passage of SB 206 and believes it would have very significant, listen to this, y'all, negative consequences for our student athletes and broader universities in California. This legislation will lead to the professionalization of college sports, and many unintended circumstances or consequences related to this professionalism imposes a state law that conflicts with national rules, will blur the lines on how California University recruited student athletes and compete nationally. And it will likely reduce resources and opportunities for student athletes in Olympic sports and have a negative and desperate impact on female student athletes, Jimmy. Notice they threw that in there. Our universities have led and important all that. Jimmy, they went there. They went there talking about the student athletes in Olympic sports and talking about the next. See, y'all got to realize, Jimmy, those big programs, those of the football team and the basketball team, they help fund those Olympic sports and these other sports. But Jimmy, he mentioned female student athletes. Jimmy, did you know in Clemson, the football team got a lazy river? I'm going to repeat. The Clemson football team got a lazy river. Jimmy, they don't have that in the girls volleyball team. The girls volleyball team don't have no lazy river. So it's unequal there. Jimmy, what's the team? LSU. They have sleep chambers in their locker room, sleeping chambers. Do you think the girls swim team at LSU got sleep chambers? But now, dude, this is crazy. I just want you to come. This is the Pac-12.
Well, the thing is, when you mention that, two of those instances about some of the college programs, what they have versus what the sister or brother programs don't have under the same house. What they do have, and that was the law, that's why Title IX, when it first came into effect, they have the opportunity that if they raise the funds in a similar fashion, they can go have their own as well. They have the opportunity. Now, the only thing that would come, whereas, let's say basketball slash volleyball, because those are dual sports that goes up under the Title IX right now. And if they build a basketball facility at a college campus, they're going to make amenities for equal or compatible access for the females of the basketball team or the volleyball team. Meaning that when U of H built the Fertitta Center, there's space for females. There's a female locker room in there. The females use the same practice gym that the men use. In some cases, they use the same home court that the males do. Now, once again, the opportunity. See, that's the key thing. And one of the things I missed on yesterday, I didn't hammer in, and because so many people, like you said, so many people missed it and are not thinking about the multitudes of mid-level players that this helps. The high-level players, guys, you guys that are watching the Chop Shop right now, you guys know better. You know better. Don't let them people fool you with that. You know that people get paid in basketball. We just had 2 corruption scandals, and guess what? Those things will just scratch the surface. Oh no, that's why so much stuff did not come out, and the judge suppressed so many motions to get so much intel to come out. They didn't want that stuff to. It would have been the for sure end of the NCAA had that stuff just spurred out, spilled into the middle of the street. Now, what I'm saying is, let's say, for example, every city, every state. Well, let's go to reality. Lonzo Ball, LaMelo Ball in California, which hits home. Let's say that situation was, if that situation was to duplicate or in any form or fashion itself, for us the social media presence that Lonzo Ball had. Do you guys understand that Lonzo Ball could have woke up in 2023? There's another Lonzo Ball or another Melo Ball with multi-millions of followers on social media. What this means is that that young man would have the ability and the opportunity to legally wake up every morning, and what he want to tell you that on Monday, I'm going to tweet out an ad for y'all to go and sponsor Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Everybody gonna eat there today. I'll be there at 9:15. Everybody, let's go there. Let's all chicken and waffle day. Let's go get it and put it on this Twitter thing. And if you retweet this, you get a free flapjack. I'm just brainstorming. And guess what happens? That's legal. And if Roscoe's want to pay him $100,000, $10,000, they want to pay him $1,000. And if he did it every doggone day, that's what this has the opportunity to do. It has the opportunity, it provides an opportunity for those who are in the class of 2023 and beyond to capitalize on their likeness. It's a start. And it does without taking away from the bottom lines or the pocketbooks of the NCAA member schools.
And Jimmy, I like to add, because I know you go at that angle, so I'm just trying to give another angle and understand. What's her name? Skinner? What's the young lady who introduced the bill?
Nancy Skinner. Nancy
Skinner. And really and truly, she, in all of her comments, she hoped other states and everybody follow suit so they can get the NCAA to get on board and do something about these archaic rules they have. That's what they understand this thing here. They had to start somewhere. And also, I looked a little deeper. And to people who don't understand the basis of their argument, they said you can go to college on a violin scholarship. Okay? You can go on a violin scholarship. And you are allowed to take gigs and charge for lessons. Why, if that's okay for the violinist or the celloist, why not for the quarterback? So that's one of the bases that they had their biggest arguments, because guess what? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And then, Jimmy, I thought about this. They said, it was talking about the actions. I'm thinking about, you're talking about go to the car lot, go to this, then got. But the actions of that player on and off. Because you remember you said that you would give a guy some money to wear your jersey, your shirt, you know.
If I like the coach, if the coach was my guy, and we were in good spirits, and I need to help him out, yeah.
But I'm finna show you something. But always remember, you being an endorser, the actions of that player on and off the field will affect your company. So if your player go rape a girl, your player go do this, your player go do, it's gonna affect your company. And I know ain't nobody gonna think about nothing like that but me. Then you got to realize it's just not logic for companies to throw all that money, because guess what? It's a public risk with backing a player that isn't successful. And what if he get mad and enters the transfer portal? So it's a lot of stuff, Jimmy, that has to be hammered out in this thing. And I know, just like I never forget, Tobias Nate Pierce say he was hungry, which he really wasn't. You see how quick now you got snack. Hold up, Jimmy, have you ever been to U of H upstairs where the players? You ever been up there? Jimmy, they got a nutrition. Jimmy, they ain't got to never worry about a snack. And I told y'all about what happened in Memphis. They cook them boys a different meal every day. So guess what? They don't never have to. You see how quick they changed that rule. If I was the NCAA, I'll go and look at this archaic backwoods rules and said, man, we got to figure out a way to at least let these people benefit from their likeness, just like we would let the celloist or the piccolo player or you think about it, Jimmy. These guys can go have a kid ought to be able to put her banner up and say, I'm teaching soccer lessons. A girl, a swim team girl, she should be able to say, I got a banner, I'm teaching swimming lessons. And every other student, the celloist can do it. But the student athlete, let's get that straight. And Jimmy, like I said, I don't like the Fair Play Act. I think it should be the Fair Likeness Act. Because that's what we're arguing over, the likeness and the likeness. And then, Jimmy, think about this. Have we ever thought about this? Okay, the school say you can have my likeness, but that's my jersey. Jimmy, that's my jersey. That jersey got the school name on it. So you can't use, if you want to use your likeness, then you can't use my likeness. You can use your face, but you can't use my jersey. So it's a lot of gray areas out there, Jimmy. And I just, I just think we need to brace. And guess what? In a perfect world, the NCAA, they call Condoleezza Rice. They call Grant Hill and David Robinson and say, hey, man, we got to get this thing right. We got to do something, because these states going to go state by state and make this thing happen. And, you can comment on that if you want to, but, we got to think about that.
Understand the word likeness. Likeness means to resemble something. And that's the thing. The jersey is not resembling nothing. That's a tangible thing. So that's
if you have USC on it, just like the NBA, Jimmy, in the NBA, a player can't go use his uniform unless he get permission. Like he going doing a commercial for another. He can't go use that. That belongs to the NBA.
That's why you notice. Remember. That's why you notice when most of the NBA commercials, you see an athlete or NFL or whatever, and you will notice in 99% of those cases, because otherwise the endorser would have to pay a check to that professional program. What they do is they'll put a jersey number on and the colors would resemble whatever the team that they play for.
Yes.
And they will proceed to shoot that commercial because you will identify to you that will resemble, okay, and make your subconscious think that's his team.
How many people know a football player's face, a college football player face, if you don't know the guy? He got a helmet on, Jimmy. He have a mask on. Now he got a mask, he got a helmet on. So I think it's a great concept because I know, especially the guys who not gonna go pro, Jimmy, that could be a 4-year window that they can make some extra money before they go off and do something else. Because don't but 1% of them go pro anyway. So that 4-year window of their earning power might be just as like we got guys in college right now. You think about it. We've been watching college football for a few weeks, right? It's a lot of them guys you can't even tell who these guys are. I guess in their state or in their cities you can, but really and truly you can't. The basketball players are different. So what do you think about that, Jim?
About which part of it?
I'm talking about the part that even a football player, we don't really know. I can't tell you who U of H football players are.
Yeah, yes, but understand the likeness. This whole situation this ain't about. This is for those people in that city, in that area, for those fans like Chris Walker explained yesterday. It's for their.
I just said U of H. I'm talking about U of H.
If you're a fan, if you're a fan of U of H football, then you certainly know who D'Eriq King is. You knew who the big fella Lamar, who played yesterday, the lineman who went in the draft. What's his name? The big fella, the big lineman. You know who he was if you're a fan of U of H football. The big player, the big fella who sit out in the postseason.
His name, I know you're talking about. Keep talking. Ed Oliver.
I said Lamar. Ed Oliver. If you're a fan of U of H football, I promise you know who that guy is. So what it does is it helps him with an opportunity to supplement and help.
But I ain't worried about old Ed. Hey, Jimmy, I ain't worried about old Ed. I'm talking about little old J.J. Jones, B.J. Jones' brother. Y'all probably, a lot of people won't know who his name. He's our offensive lineman.
Okay, guess what?
Them the kind of players I'm talking about.
Okay, but guess what? This is my point. Texas Southern University has a quarterback that was at Florida State 2 years ago. Their starting quarterback was at Florida State 2 years ago. Well, if you a TSU Tiger, right? That kid could, let's say before he came to TSU, that kid could have went to, let's say, U of H and been sitting there playing second string behind D'Eriq King, right? Or if this rule was in effect for Texas, he could have came to TSU and capitalize off his likeness.
Jimmy, Lionel God just said, Jimmy, you don't even know the main name.
I don't follow football, Lionel God.
I know. You said,
I give everybody a disclaimer. I can't name you 3 players off the Houston Texans team. Nevertheless, I'm TSU's team. So that's the thing. So one thing about me, I'm gonna give it a disclaimer. That shit might as well be hockey to me. It's the truth. Now I can tell you some baseball, but then everybody has their own.
They don't have helmets on, Jimmy.
But what I'm saying is, if you are a fan of that sport within that particular school, every school out there at the mid-level, if you're a marginal player, that means let's say you're being recruited and being offered by U of H, but you can go to TSU, right? Or let's take TSU out of it. You can go to Sam Houston State, right? But U of H could be compete for the job. Sam Houston State, you can be the instant starter and a star. You can be a game changer at Sam Houston State, who, by the way, competes for a national championship every other year at the second level of the football in Division I. Now, here's my thing: if you go to Huntsville and you can capitalize off your likeness, guess what? You're gonna be the big man in that city. That means you can be on the billboards. You can get paid $1,000 a month for a hamburger joint, $1,000 a month for a clothing store, $1,000 a month, and you get a free car, mind you, $1,000 a month from the guys that put the rims on the car. You know the youngsters want some rims. So that's $3,000-4,000 a month in reality that can come through you being a big man on campus. Or go to U of H, and ain't nobody gonna sign you to nothing. You won't even get a free turkey leg from Turkey Leg. You won't even get some Frenchies. So that's the opportunity, though, that you have to make. Early this morning on First Take, they asked Marcus Spears. Greeny asked Marcus Spears, the former LSU and Dallas Cowboy star, if he had to do it all over again, if this rule was in effect, the fair pay to play in Louisiana. He grew up in Baton Rouge, played for the Houston Hoops actually during the summer basketball, alongside Carlos Hurt and Mecca Okafor and those guys. Well, if Mark and asked him would it have changed the game? Would it have been a big factor? He said, hell yeah. Because growing up where he grew up from, on that side of Baton Rouge, he would have been thinking about taking care of his mama and his sister. Because he grew up facing the pink slip in the mailbox of getting your lights cut off. A lot of people ain't faced that before. And so understand, for a lot of people, they really don't, they can't resonate as to how it feels to be this close to being homeless.
It ain't about that as much, Jimmy. It's about these people being able, the opportunity to be able, because guess what? Just cause a dude ain't homeless and just cause a dude's not don't you think these middle class dudes gonna pass up the money too? So it ain't got nothing to do. People like money. If I got a chance to, and I was just thinking about it. They gave me some questions. I went into my mailbag. Somebody said, I'm not arguing for or against college athletes endorsements. But this is what it comes with it. This is what comes with it. Number one, the end of the NCAA. Number two, fewer rules, more cheating. Number three, complete professionalism of college sports. Players won't be tied to academics, likely won't need to even go to class.
Hold on. Pause for a minute, guys. See, that's what I'm saying.
Wait a minute. So you telling me you said that like the majority of the players don't go to class. And Jimmy, I don't. No.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
what were you about to say?
I'm saying big man on campus is going to get an extra mulligan for missing a class more than their second string guy. And every school has a big man on campus.
Him, Jimmy. He the 1%. We talk about the rest of the guys.
I understand, but hell, understand the 1%. Every school has a 1%. That's what I'm trying. That's the aha. Every school out there has a 1%. But then those 1%, if you factor them into the whole scheme of things,
excuse me, I'm sorry. The 1% that's gonna play in the NFL. I'm not talking about the 1%. You just the best player on your team.
But
I'm not talking.
But when
I say 1%. I'm just letting you know what I mean when I say.
I understand that, but that's different. We talking about this rule. This rule doesn't move the needle for the 1% that's going pro like that. It opens up. They're getting the benefits anyway, Hatter. You know that. You know that those guys. So it doesn't move the needle. It's what it does. It just makes them they can meet now in plain sight. They don't have to hide instead of hiding in plain sight. They can meet now in plain sight. They can go and you can go and walk and stand there and put it because now once 2023 come into play, they can hire a licensed agent. So you don't have to hide it no more.
Jimmy, but you're gonna have to pay you're gonna hire me, you got to pay me a certain percentage, right? But if you go over there yourself and somebody just hand you 10,000, you ain't got to you said hide in plain sight, and all you're doing, and guess what your reason's gonna be saying? He paying me for my likeness. He liked me. You see how I played on words?
No,
He played
okay.
me for my likeness. He liked me.
Okay, so you telling me a pro can't do that right now? A professional can't go get his own endorsement right now if he want to?
He could.
Okay,
But
what would
guess
happen?
They ain't
What
gonna
would happen
hold up. He got Kobe Bryant can go. LeBron can go.
if Zion Williamson, if Zion wanted to go
Okay,
and get the
I'm
if
gonna put it
Zion
like
wanted to
this.
go, okay, what would happen?
Daniel House can't go. I'm just put it like that. Daniel House can't go.
If
Zion, but Zion gonna hold up. Zion gonna need somebody to look over the contract for. He gonna need somebody to structure the contract. Because guess what? An endorsement contract is different from an NFL player's contract. NFL player's contract explains everything that can be done. That's the standard. In an endorsement contract, you have to start from scratch. We don't have a blank endorsement contract. Just what, like a stock endorsement contract. We got a stock players represent, but you gonna come. You got to start from scratch. And guess what? They could. It's not likely. Because guess what? If I was an endorser, if I was Nike, and Zion came to me by himself, guess what? Nike probably not going to deal with it. Coca-Cola probably not going to deal with it. They're going to say, man, go get somebody grown, or go get a professional. Hold up, not to protect us, because we can take advantage of you, to protect yourself. So I hope that help you. It's to protect the kid. Now, because guess what? The executive at Coca-Cola, they can tell you, hey, well, just sign this, Jimmy, and here you go. We're gonna send you a Coca-Cola. We're gonna send you a Coca-Cola machine to your house. We're gonna furnish you with all kind of Coke products, and we're gonna do this for you. We're gonna do it. Okay. Now, every time you come on the podium, hold up. Every time you come on the podium, Gatorade said, move that other drink, put that drink there. Those kind of things have to be negotiated. So it's possible, but not likely.
But on a smaller scale, you mentioned Daniel House, right? You mentioned the Daniel House. Yeah. Let's say one of his teammates that when owns a business now, or one of his classmates owns a business, and it's a smaller scale. He's not going to be able to eat his cereal with a tablespoon that James Harden be to eat his cereal with. He had to go get one of those big spoons that you got to measure the sugar with and the flour with.
Okay, he can go. He can come to Jimmy right now. Daniel House can come to you. You can say, Daniel House, every time I see you, I want you to wear my shirt. You can get a deal with him. You can do that. He can accept your money. But guess what? The time he don't accept your money and him ain't signed no deal, I mean, the time he don't wear that shirt and you mad, where's your recourse? Who gonna protect him? Because you gonna get mad. Man, I gave him $10,000. Why ain't he wearing my t-shirt?
Well, that would be the risk. That would be the risk versus reward of not going directly through the middleman. That would be the risk versus reward. And as one guy that did it before the old-fashioned way, and Lanny Smith did it before the old-fashioned way that way. He went around the middleman at first, and he connected with his relationship with Jeremy Lin, then with Steph Curry, and a lot of other people that wears his active faith wear his gear, his products, and so people. But you know that's the risk. That's the risk versus reward, and you know what? And somebody to get burnt, but that's an opportunity. Once again, it's the opportunity for that young man to be able to eat. And eat doesn't mean to buffet. It opportunity to eat. For some guys, it's going to be a buffet, but to other guys, it's going to be ramen noodles, but they're going to be able to eat.
You understanding, your understanding of the people that downtown a lot. I go away to Huntsville a lot. Jimmy, I would always advise people, don't go into a courtroom without a lawyer. And I always give this analogy, Jimmy. Alex Pearby on here, I'm gonna let you can use this. You treat your contract in your career like it's the most important thing to you. Players, future NBA players, treat it like it's the most important thing to you. Treat it like you would do if you were going to have brain surgery. Okay? Anthony Favre might be a family practitioner. Great doctor. He can work on me and do a little things to me. But I don't care how cool me and Anthony Favre is. I'm not going to let him operate on my brain. I'm going to go get the best brain surgeon possible to operate on me. He's a doctor. He might say he can do it. But treat your contract, treat your career, because your career is not going to be that long. You might not be as long as LeBron James. You might not be. So don't look at LeBron. LeBron James is an outlier. Dwayne Wade's an outlier. Go look at the other guys who didn't stay around as long. Go look at the OJ Mayos. Those guys didn't stay that long. So always remember when you're doing this stuff, treat it like it's brain surgery. Because you don't want just anybody working on your brain. You just don't. You ain't going to get the little doctor down the street to work on your brain. You're going to try to find, because guess what? One wrong move in your brain, you're dead. So that's how you treat your contract. Y'all got that one for free today, but Jimmy, keep on. What you got?
And so I was reading some of the comments on the Boom Boom Room. You guys, want you to take out the time right now to share the show with a lot of your followers and on your timeline. We want to get at least 20 shares a day. If you can share the show real quick, it doesn't take but a hot second. Hit the share button and share it with your friends or post it on your page if you're watching the show. It helps a great deal for our social media reach. Now, some of the comments on right now, and of course that Anthony Favre says, what if the NCAA says anyone that want to get paid for their likeness must pay their own way to school? Me personally, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Because you know why? That means it still would provide the opportunity for those who want to do so. They have an option. That's all. I wouldn't have no problem with that at all. Because now, for some kids, it's going to weigh more. Especially those kids that have a big social media following. Like the kid that was in Florida last year that did the video and had the YouTube channel and they made him shut it down. That YouTube channel would have paid for his college. And actually, he was willing to do that. They still told him, shut it down, or you wouldn't be a scholarship. So guess what? For some, and you know what would happen? For so many kids, it would affect, if the NCAA did that, it would backfire on them. Because the kids that this whole concept of the rule was designed to help, it would make the NCAA look, here's how it would make a mockery of them. Because only kids the most situations of kids who would probably take advantage of that would be at the blue bloods or the Power 5 schools. So now, once again, Power 5 schools would be able to do this, and because they have ways of which, you mean to tell me if a kid is wanting to go to LSU and Leonard Fournette, let's take him for example, backtrack on a blast to the past when he and his dad, of his namesake, Leonard Fournette Sr., made T-shirts with a silhouette of this young boy on his shirts with Fournette on it. That could have been his dad.
Jimmy, under the new rules, you can do this. So But he's a 1%er also.
No, so now let's say, once again, that's what I'm saying. So let's say if this was happening, and the rules was in effect when they did that, and they made them shut those T-shirts down. They have an option. If he's going to LSU, do you not think that if he said, look, man, I want to make some money off this break, off my likeness, but they say you got to pay your own way to school, if that's going to be a deal breaker, don't you think some money going to come up for a scholarship from somewhere out of the swamps of Louisiana to pay for Leonard Fournette's tuition? Don't you think that it's going to be taken care of, that somebody somewhere is going to provide the opportunity for him to be able to drive a brand new car? And all they got to do, don't pay his own.
For that.
But there's one in every school every year. There's one. That's why I'm saying. And if it's one, it's going to be.
So you're saying all of this trouble and all of this legislation and all of this for just, it's 351 Division I schools. And Power Fives is not that many. What, 50 power? How many Power Five? So just those guys, that's what this rule is about? Just those guys?
No. The rule is about everybody has the opportunity. That's why it makes it so beautiful, this fair pay to play. It provides everybody the opportunity. They had a gymnast, gymnast that had a video go viral. She didn't get a penny off of it. Had like so many million views on her page. She could get paid off of that. That's a she. It's an opportunity. Let's say if the young lady, what's our girl name? Coco. If Coco gets into college, Coco has the opportunity to not even, she can go to college if she wants to and still be an eligible student athlete while still competing as a pro in some events. But she has the opportunity to do so if she wants to.
No. Not if she take. Oh, you're talking about now. Not if she's taking prize money. You're talking about now. Okay.
Now.
I mean,
talking about now.
In 2000. No.
Well, yeah. We're saying if we were in the year 2003, that's us all of everything that we're talking about. The entire show was under the premise. We said it earlier. If a lot of you guys missed it, was if we are in 2003 right now, what could happen? And so, but now once again, trust me, the NCAA they have to and they will. One of the reasons that the 2023 came into play, guys, is because of the fact that the California legislature, and I think it was a very smart move because it restricts any appeal or any appellate court from striking this thing down. It eliminated the excuse.
Jimmy, they couldn't. This was a bill. This not
no. I'm talking about under the I'm talking about under what the NCAA had to charge them about, saying they're gonna do some like some what it was, not intra-commerce, not the
antitrust stuff.
Now antitrust would be from the states to the NCAA, but it was something that the NCAA was charging that they would accuse California of being in violation of. And they're saying that a court would not rule it's not likely to rule in the NCAA's favor. So they're going to go to the courts on this. Hold up,
Jimmy. Lionel Gar just said something. What's up, Brandon Morris? Lionel Gar said, if VY, Vince Young, y'all, to people all over the country, everybody don't know who VY is, Lionel, was making likeness money doing commercials, and I'm his lineman, and I'm not getting the same money, I'm stop blocking.
Well, I got the perfect response for that. When VY was at University of Texas, you think VY wasn't getting bags? He was getting bags at University of Texas. Was those linemen getting bags?
They didn't know it though.
They knew it. They didn't
know how much he was getting.
They don't know how much, and you still won't know how much they get. You just know you'll know what the base is. You ain't gonna know what the incentive is gonna be unless they put it. So guess what? Those guys steal. You think the guys at Clemson? What's your quarterback name? Sunshine. You think Sunshine don't eat? You look at Sunshine. You really think he's not getting a bag, or he hasn't gotten one? You really believe that? So guess what? If the lineman at Clemson So
We know they get bags, Jimmy. We know they
so
get bags.
so what's the difference? What's the difference? It's illegal. It's a way to cut the light on in the room. That's all it's doing. I understand what you're saying, Lanago. I understand what you mean by it. Those guys, guess what? If that guy get in his bag, and I mean you, there are some players that's like this. He gonna go in his bag, he gonna paint you off a little bit, he gonna take it to his lineman. That's between him and his lineman. If he eating. Some guys like
Hey,
that,
man, don't say
some
that
guys
no
ain't.
more, man. Don't say that no more, Paige. But you know what I just thought about? Let me show y'all something. Y'all can comment on it. So the quarterback at USC can be on billboards and make a lot. The second string receiver may sign autographs at a fair and make a little.
Yeah.
It's their image, their likeness, and
Yeah.
guess what? My image is a little slightly less than Tom Brady, and I'm going to pay it accordingly. So it ain't no difference.
I mean,
they pay me a little less than Tom Brady, so it ain't no difference. Hey, bingo.
That's it. And so now, guys, want to provide you some. We're talking about amateur sports today on the
Okay.
Chop Shop, and want to give you guys some news, some interesting news that probably flew up under the radar with it because fair pay to play absorbed a lot of the conversation when it comes to amateur sports over the past 24 hours. How about this? Remember Louisville had to vacate the national championship in 2013?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what we didn't know, remember the head coach, when he got fired, Rick Pitino filed a lawsuit, which was recently dissolved, and they solved it and settled, right? Well, what we forgot about is that some players off the team also filed a lawsuit, right?
Hancock.
Right? And
Yeah.
and as a result, Dave captured somewhat of a victory in that
Yeah.
lawsuit.
He got his MVP back, I think, right?
And they restored the stats because they vacated everything. So now the stats have been restored from the 2013 championship and the 2012 Final Four, and they restored the win. Well, they didn't restore the wins, but they restored all of the stats and the numbers and the merits from from those seasons, which is. I mean, it might not seem like much, but then guess what? If you're 75 years old and you're rolling through the campus with your great grandbaby or your grandson, your stats will still be in the media guide. Your stats will still be able to be viewed in the Walk of Fame or on the wall or whatever. And it doesn't mean like much, but that's a moral victory. I want to share you guys with that. I want to share that. I'm sorry, with you guys. Also,
and Jimmy, guess what passed us the other day? Because we talked about it when he was balling, but LaMelo Ball was 1 for 10 the other day with 4 points, and we let that just go by. Should he have shut it down after that? The number 1 pick. Now he went 1 for 10.
Well, I think the shutting down point, that was a question that somebody had posed and like not speculated, but posed out there. What if he shuts it down? And if he's determined to be a possible top 3 pick in the draft. Well, the unlikelihood of him shutting it down now is because of the fact that he's actually getting paid. And that was one of the things was that part. And number 2, of course, is that Melo Ball we're talking about, Alonzo, but Melo Ball. This is show and prove for him. And at some point he will, if he does, I believe it. If he does attain a certain level of success on a consistent level in that league, you can best believe he probably will shut it down, wouldn't you? If he, they get so if he don't shut it down,
preseason, Jim. So I'm gonna shut it down in preseason.
No. I'm talking about moving past that before the season ends. If he has consistent, if he goes and shows up and shows out and goes out there 10 games in a row and he's putting up those numbers and they still have half a season left, guess what? You better shut it down. You better shut it down. So you go out there to game number 11 and crack your knee open, or tear something, then what? You better shut it down after a certain point.
You can crack your knee in workouts, Jim.
Yeah, you can, but guess what? Your chances of doing so will be greatly. You can go now and focus on getting stronger, focus on getting better on the individual status if he reaches a certain point. That's what our society has driven us to now. We all created these Frankensteins. We mentioned Ed Oliver. That's his name, right? The football player from U of H last year. We mentioned him earlier in the show. Remember, he shut it down before the postseason came. He said, "I'm not playing in no bowl game. For what? That's one game." Understand you, it's a lot of physical contact.
He was hurt too now, Jim.
But then, remember what happened after he did that? About a half dozen other guys across the country saying, "We shutting it down. We're not playing in that. In those meaningless bowl games. We're not talking about." So that's today's society. You get that rank, you get that status, you shut it down. We even see it at the high school ranks. You rank a kid number 1, he ain't coming to play no more. He's shutting it down. You give a kid a high rank, he's shutting it down. You rank a team as your top team, they're not going to play regular. They don't want to play nobody but Oak Hill now. That's what we've bred. We've planted those seeds collectively in society and made it seem like okay, and then we only get mad when it affects us directly. Only time we mad.
Duh, that's human nature, Jimmy. Duh.
You see? So that means the energy isn't being kept at the same level. It's not the same energy. People are looking at that and they're not paying attention. Once again, not paying attention. And that's what it comes out now.
He said you can't get better without playing.
Really? Really? Okay. Remember this.
I didn't say that. I heard the D.
Remember this, Heather. I'm quite sure you can think of a lot of cases where there's been guys that could have went into workouts in the NBA, but they decided not to, and their stock went up. And there's been others who went into workouts and their stock went plummeting. I know one recently came out of high school in 2013 named Derek Griffin. Derek Griffin shut down basketball. He was the first team all conference in the SWAC at TSU. Was freshman of the year, player of the year in basketball. We all knew he should have been on the football field. Went out there on the football field. He had risks with the coach. Things didn't go right. He shut down basketball in the middle of the season. Shut down. Well, football season had just ended. So there wasn't no, And guess what? He had a workout in football and laid a straight goose egg. See, that's the thing, the accountability factor. And if and when I ever talk to Derek Griffin again.
Jim, it's hard to lay an egg.
What did he do? What did he lay? What did he do at TSU that workout? On his NFL day. What did he do, Haller?
Lay the egg. Jimmy, he wasn't in shape. Drop passes. I mean, it was ugly. Them guys, I didn't go out there. Them guys said, man, that guy looked like he ain't worked out in months.
And of course, I'm reading some of the comments. Ed Oliver, I just thought about it. That's why I forgot his name. Hell, I ain't heard about him all year. It says he had 0 sacks. He got 5 tackles in 4 games.
Hey, man, that NFL ain't no joke, man. Ain't too many rookies doing like that. Hey, y'all, appreciate rookies when they can come out there and do their thing. It's hard. I watched that movie the other night, Hustle and Flow. It's hard out here on them. It's hard out here. So what else you got, man, before we get out of here?
Well, man, want to remind you guys on what it is on today. The Major League Baseball starts off. You guys know how I feel about the Astros, and of course they're off. They have a bye because if you win your division, American League and National League, whoever comes in first has a bye. They will play the winner of the 4th and the 5th seed, which is what they call wild cards. So the Astros will play the winner of the Oakland A's, right? And Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Tampa Bay and Oakland playing in the wild cards. The winner of that will play the Astros on Thursday. Thursday would be the first game. If I'm not mistaken, I thought it was Thursday. It may not be Thursday. I thought it was Thursday. I'll have to look and correct myself on that. I'm not sure. But in the National League, the Los Angeles Dodgers got the number 1 seed, and they will play the winner of the Brewers, Milwaukee, and the Washington Nationals. That they will play. Actually, they play tonight at 7:00 on TBS. If you want to watch a little baseball, get you a fix. On Wednesday, the Oakland A's and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays will play their wild card game on ESPN. That's tomorrow. On Thursday,
I got a couple of things I want to announce too before I give the starting 5. Tamika O'Neal on out, in the Boom Boom Room. I think October the 6th. That's soon. It's the Texas Southern University National Alumni Association chapter present Southern and Sophisticated, a neo jazz and neo soul and a jazz scholarship brunch on October the 6th at the Decorative Center of Houston over on 5120 Woodway on October the 6th. You can go to Southern and Sophisticated at Eventbrite and look up for the tickets. But Tamika O'Neal, I meant to do this a couple of weeks ago. She gave it to me, but I know we got to keep y'all on break. This next Jimmy, when is October the 6th?
Sunday.
It's soon. It's Sunday. So Sunday brunch. Great place for Sunday brunch. If you want any more information, Tamika, if you're still listening, put it on your thing. And Jimmy, I'd like to shout out the Vessel Group. Its owner and founder, Dennis Hatchett. I am broadcasting from his office in downtown. I'm overlooking downtown in Houston this morning. This afternoon. So thank you, Dennis, and the Vessel Group and all this staff. They took care of me. I'm in here. Nobody bothered me. I just had the phone ring one time, and I just turned the ringer down. So I got to learn to turn the ringer back up before.
And I want to chip in, and I forgot. And thanks so much for reminding me on one of the things I want to make sure I want to hammer in before we get up out of here, and that is Corey Barker. I touched on it yesterday. Former TCU coach was hired as an assistant coach at New Mexico State. So, and I promised you guys I was going to do a call to action and explain to you guys how you can help him. How you can help him. If you see, here's the thing. If you say you support people, and that's why so often I always say pay attention. Just pay attention. Because people a set of lips can say anything. The actions will show. If you're a summer coach out there and you considered yourself an ally or a supporter of Corey Barker, here's how you can help him. Understand one thing. The head coach at New Mexico State took one hell of a gamble taking Corey. Meaning that I know that the coach received some heat from some of his alumni that really don't understand. They're like, why are you going to hire this guy? Didn't this guy was mentioned in the trial? Wasn't he on the transcripts? His name for taking $6,000 from an agent or whatever. And so people that don't really understand, Corey obviously was exonerated. He never was charged with anything. I say exonerated mean from his investigation at the school. He resigned from TCU. That was a preventive maintenance move, right? So he went on and just just fell on the sword and leaped on fate. Corey started relying more on his fate. As I know from speaking with him, he started, him and his wife, they grew together and remained optimistic that an opportunity would come through. And all it takes, that's why relationships are so important in this stuff. The coach from New Mexico hired him. So now I'm going to be paying attention as to how many of you summer coaches out there that's supposed to be allies of Corey Barker will be helping feed your best kid to him. See, that's the difference. Not the kid you want him to recruit, the one that he wants to recruit. I want to see how many is going to get official visits, how many is going to make the Final Five. But he's your boy, my boy. And in the meantime, people holler at stuff. This is what they do, Hatter. That's my boy, Corey Barker. You know what they do? Send him an invoice 2 days later. So he's not your boy. That's a business relationship. It's not your friend. And this is what happened out here, guys. People do it all the time. A lot of summer coaches have scouting services under their umbrella. I mean, there's somebody in there that has a scouting service. They may not make it publicly, but guess what? Those college coaches sure do. They will tell on their butts on those guys. So trust me, a lot of you guys out there, I know you guys have scouting services, or many of you, that the general public don't know about. And I ain't the one to put your business out there like that. So to me, you should really think of that as a mulligan. Why I rolled you out in the middle of the street for I know what you're trying to do. You're eating off of the kids. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. But what's wrong with it when you acting to these parents like you ain't, like you doing it for the kids. You ain't doing shit for the kids. And that's the thing. That's the point about it. We went to Beaumont last Monday and went down there with an 18-wheeler product. I damn near threw my back out getting that stuff off the back of that diesel truck. Right? And understand. And guess what we're doing? That's what I'm doing right now. Still. I got an office full of stuff over here packed up, waiting for on the weekend, because there's the coaches from Beaumont United High School, and we know from being a Hatter, Beaumont United and Felix and Fair Price Elementary in Beaumont were the two most affected schools in that area. Matter of fact, guess when they're going to start classes? October the 14th. They don't go to school to October the 14th. Those kids are out of school for almost a whole month before Beaumont United can go back to school. So once again, in my office, I got a stack of stuff on this part of my office of donations from different people that's given. Because guess what? It didn't stop with the 18-wheeler.
Sure did.
This stuff is going to go into the trucks, and on the back of the trucks of all of those coaches that's coming from Beaumont United, they're going to take it back and give it to the teachers. We're helping the teachers now. Because if the teachers are helped to restore their life back to normality, they have enough power and enough energy inside them to transfer to those kiddos on October the 14th when school resumes for those two schools in Beaumont. So I wanted to get that out of there, get that off my chest, and explain to you guys, my point is, don't give back. You didn't have to go to Beaumont to give back. Hell, the people were underwater out in East Houston, in Northeast Houston. They were underwater.
Jimmy, you saying this like I think you're just putting a mandate out here. But I think Corey is such a cool guy, a great guy. You just making sure, if y'all, look here, this man is hanging on a thread. Put him in a position of power. Is that what you're saying? Don't play around with this. This is a different hire.
Yes.
That guy went out on a limb to hire this. So
absolutely.
Don't play no games with this. This one allow guys from this community.
See, here's the thing. if he's such an ally and Corey and such your guy, I didn't say let him get all your kids. I didn't say turn your back on every school. I'm saying let him have the opportunity to recruit your best kid. And don't just open the door, let him in and turn your back and you walk out the room. Let him have a fair shot, meaning that, hey, look, you know how you do these if you're a summer coach or you're a person of influence? You let the kid know, hey man, look, this guy here, he was at Smiley High School back in the days, right? He was at North Forest High School when it opened up, coaching over there with Gilbert Good. He was at Christian Life and helped out there at Christian Life. Then he went and he coached in college and went at Louisiana Tech, got a gig, went to TCU, and all the while he's been a good dude and he always recruited our kids from this program. The least we can do is for you to give him a fair shot to recruit you. I'm not telling you where to go, but at least give him a fair shot and open your heart up. And this guy, cool people. That's what I'm saying, what I'm asking for every summer program in the state of Texas, especially DFW and H-Town, to do. You guys have Corey Barker's cell phone number. If you don't, then y'all wasn't that cool anyway. So that means you're exempt from this class. You can sit this one out. But if you did, give him a hit and let him know, Corey, I'm with you. I'm with you. Call me today. I got some news for you, brother. I'm going to give you a fair shot to recruit my kid. Or you tag him on social media. That way his boss can see it. That way his AD can see it. That way them hating ass alumni up at New Mexico State, that way they can see it and they can understand that Texas is with Corey Barker. That's how you can help Corey Barker.
There you go.
So with that, guys, I'm done with it for the day, man. You can land the plane, handle the day. I gotta go. I'm about to go sip on something.
Jimmy, guess what? Dal Anderson, Christopher Calvin. This is his first time. Christopher Calvin, his first time on my starting five. Clarence Harris, Anthony Weston, and Corey Willis. Those were my starting five today. So guess what? We're going to yabba dabba do this thing and slide down Dino's back. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. But thanks again, Dennis Hatchett, the Vessel Group. Thanks for letting me borrow your facility. I'll see y'all later. Out.